Welcome back to the Mother-Daughter Disney podcast. My name is Amanda. I'm here with my very lovely mother sitting across the table from me.
Hi, this is Jeanette.
And today we're going to do something kind of fun, something laid back. We're going to take a Buzzfeed personality quiz to determine which Disney character we are. So I will link this quiz in the description so you can take it along with us. This quiz is, again, a Buzzfeed quiz. We're not sponsored, obviously, by Buzzfeed or anything. It was written by Angelica Martinez, and it was last updated on March 4th, 2022. So I imagine all the movies before 2022 are probably included in the quiz. After 2022, which I guess is, as of recording, this is only a year. But yeah, so we're going to go through the quiz. It's called This In-Depth Personality Test Will Reveal Which Disney Character You Are with 100% Accuracy.
Okay, that should be interesting.
So let's see. There are a bunch of questions in here. I didn't actually count how many questions there actually are, but the questions are kind of like, so for instance, the first question is, are you more of an optimist or a pessimist? And then there is a sliding scale where you can kind of slide the scale closer to optimist or closer to pessimist. You don't have to like slide it all the way over. You can maybe stop in the middle or something like that. So we'll be doing that as well and just, explain how we're sliding the scale. Yeah, I definitely encourage you to take the test with us or just kind of think of it in your head as well. Like, which one would you be? I love personality quizzes. When I was in high school and everything, I was obsessed with them. I thought they were so much fun. And it's just one of the things you just do for fun. You take it with a little grain of salt.
I've never taken a personality quiz. I took a pet quiz one time, told me I should own a Mastiff. So obviously that didn't go very well.
Yeah, but just to know, this is obviously just for fun,
Okay.
something different to do. Also, if we're being really honest, this podcast required no prep almost whatsoever.
Nope, just on here.
Excuse me, sorry, I have the hiccups. Yeah, I'm going to have to edit that out.
This is a fun one.
All right, so are you more of an optimist or a pessimist?
Okay.
You have to say your answer, Mom.
Oh, I'm more of a pessimist.
Yes, we all
Everybody
know that.
accuses me of that. I'm going 3/4 of the way up. Not fully pessimist, because sometimes I do try to look for the good side of things, but I am a pessimist.
Yeah, and I am more of an optimist. I would say I used to class myself as more of a realist, so I'm not going all the way up on being an optimist, but I'm going most of the way for being an optimist. Are you more laid back or serious?
I'm more serious because I cannot lay back that much. I need to know. I need to know everything. I want to know what's happening today, tomorrow, next month, next year.
I'm so sorry. I have the hiccups right now, so if you hear my hiccups in the background, I will try to edit them out. All right, I feel like I don't know, actually. I feel like I can be both, where I can be more laid back and also more serious depending upon the situation. I guess I would say I'm more serious overall, though, so I will go like more towards the serious side for this one. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? I am definitely an introvert. I'm going all the way over on introvert.
Well, I'm definitely an extrovert, so I'm all the way over on extrovert.
All right. Our varying personalities. All right, next, are you independent or more of a team player?
Well, I kind of say in the middle for me. I can be independent if I have to, and I can be a team player if I have to. I don't have one way or another.
Well, I guess which one would you prefer to be? Like, would you prefer to, like, if you're doing like a project in school, so to speak, would you rather do a group project?
I was more of an independent worker.
Yeah, I've always been more independent as well.
Yeah.
I don't really love working in groups. Again, same thing as my mom. I can work in groups, obviously.
I can get along with anybody, but if I'm going to be working on something or doing something, I'd rather be independent.
All right, so the next question. Are you young at heart or an old soul?
I'm kind of in the middle on that because there are times when I could be young at heart, when I think that when you don't think about how old you are or what your responsibilities are, that you can do things that, I tend to be younger than my age to a certain extent, and I don't think I'm an old soul yet, so I'm going to leave it right in the middle.
All right, yeah, I'm going to go more towards young at heart because I don't really think I am an old soul. I think I feel like you have old soul tendencies, but I can definitely tell this is not necessarily, I haven't been around the block thousands of times, definitely a little bit more young at heart, I think. All right, next, are you a private person or an open book?
I'm an open book. You kind of read it on my face, hear it in my voice. There is no covering anything
I remember one
up.
time I said something to my mom and she had a really strong reaction. She was like, oh, and then she was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Yes.
She realized it instantly.
Sometimes, you just want to keep your thoughts to yourself. I try, so I won't say like I'm an open book all the way to the end, but I'm more on the open book side because, like I said, sometimes it just comes out faster than I want it to. Or even if I don't open my mouth, you can see it right on my face. I just can't hide it.
Yeah, I feel like I am more of a private person in the sense where I don't necessarily just naturally would share certain things, what's going on or how I'm feeling or what I'm expressing. However, if you ask me something, I will always share the answer, that type of thing. So not necessarily open. So I'm going to go more towards private because of that. But yeah, I would say though, I'm open in the sense that anyone could ask me anything and I will respond quite truthfully, but I won't necessarily just offer the information, off the bat or something. Are you more of a nervous person or a fearless person?
Okay, this is funny because This is the first time I'm going left instead of right on the scale. I'm more of a nervous person now, and I don't think that has anything more to do than age. I think as you get older, you realize what the pitfalls are. I mean, sometimes I say to myself, yeah, well, when I was that age, I was doing the same thing. So I think I become more nervous now, but would be fearless if it wasn't for that. I knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I do have anxiety, so in that sense, I am nervous. However, I do think I am fearless in the sense that I will always try new things. Like if someone says, let's do this, or like on a whim, let's, let's do something different, then in that sense, I am more fearless. So I'm going to go more on the fearless side, but I do have anxiety. So are you patient or impatient?
Anybody can answer this question for me.
Yeah,
I'm impatient.
I was going to say my mom's
There we are
impatient.
on the right side again. Impatient.
Right. I am more of a patient person. So my mom gets so even when we're like at the store, like waiting to like buy groceries, it's like she immediately starts huffing and puffing. And I'm like, there's one person in front of us buying groceries. It is going to be okay.
I just want to keep moving. I just not one of those people that likes to stand still. I just want to keep moving, get it done, get to the next thing.
Yeah. Are you more emotional or even tempered?
Okay. Well, here I'm going to the left again.
Yeah, emotional.
Emotional.
I would say I'm also more emotional as well. I cry easily.
Well, we have different emotions, obviously, but yes,
Yeah.
you are very emotional. I'm not more of that kind of emotion. Mine is more just explosive, like I said, being impatient, being nervous, being wanting to be the next step ahead, knowing what's going on. So I'm not even tempered.
I guess in a
by
way
any
I would
means.
say I'm more sensitive. Like I'm quite sensitive to anything going on.
Yeah.
But I am very level-headed too, at the same sense. But I would say I'm more of an emotional person, which I think is a good thing. So I feel like sometimes emotional people get like a bad rep, but there's nothing wrong with feeling your emotions.
either. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with either one of these things.
Yeah.
Makes you who you are.
Yeah. Are you more organized or messy?
I'm right in the center because I am not organized at all when it comes to paperwork
I am
or things
extremely
like
organized,
that.
so I'm going all the way to the left.
But I'm also not a messy person. I do not like things around that are cluttering or doing, or I'm very particular about where things go and how they should be, and so I'm like right in the middle. I would leave it right dead center.
Yeah, no, I'm extremely organized. I do not really like mess. I don't really like clutter in my personal life. Everything is quite neat and organized. So definitely.
My paperwork is the worst. I mean, I can organize all my clothes, my shoes, my kitchen, my my house. I just can't organize my paperwork.
Yeah. Are you more flexible or stubborn?
Oh, I'm really flexible.
I feel like I can be kind of in the middle for this because there are times when I am stubborn, but there are also times when, I'm very go with the flow type of person. So
I find myself very flexible because I tend to try to make everybody happy. I try to be like the happy person for like, okay, you want to do this or do that? Okay, we can do that. I'm not saying that I won't put my opinion in there, but I'm more flexible than I am stubborn.
I'm going more towards flexible, but I definitely can be stubborn though. Are you more forgetful or responsible?
That also comes with age.
I guess it depends, like, in what sense, because I feel like when you have things to do, like, at work or at school, yes, I've always been quite responsible, but everyone forgets stuff sometimes, so I suppose, more responsible, definitely.
My age has not kicked in enough that I'm very forgetful, but I have to say I'm more responsible than forgetful still.
Yeah,
so,
same.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that yet.
Oh, this is fun. Are you more of a dreamer or a realist?
That's a tough question.
Yeah, I think that very much depends on where you are in life, what's going on in life.
Yeah, I think there are certain situations that you have to be a realist, and then certain situations you have to be a dreamer.
Yeah,
I mean, you just have to have a dream, because if you're not a dreamer on certain things, life becomes very bad and very tough.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's got to have part of the dreamer in them. So
yeah, I feel like the optimist in me is always a dreamer, is always hoping for the best.
You always have to
and
look
wishing
towards
for
the future. Yeah.
But I also quite am logical too, so more realistic. So I'm going to leave that one actually in the middle. This is my first one I'm leaving right in the middle. So are you more humble or arrogant?
That depends upon the situation.
Really? I would say overall, I don't know. I would say for the most part, I feel like I'm usually pretty humble.
I'm pretty humble when it comes to most things. I'm not an arrogant person. I don't.
Yeah. I was going to say
I'd rather be in the background than be in the front.
Yeah.
I'm not one to be up front and be in the middle of everything. I'm more humble when it comes to doing anything. I'd rather be.
Yeah.
It's
like
I
realize it's like not humble to say that you are humble, but it is like when you're taking a quiz, it's like, all right, if we're being realistic, most of the time I would say I'm more humble than arrogant. But
me too.
Which again, there's nothing wrong to say to be proud of the accomplishments that you've done. So, I feel like arrogance can come off as negative, but again, you should be proud of the things that you've done as well. So are you a follower or a leader?
I'm a leader.
Yeah, this is one of those things that's funny because I feel like I want to be a follower, but if you look at my track record in life, I've always been a leader. Like my freshman year of college, I literally became the president of an organization that plans student activities. Like instantly got to college, did that, became like, I say editor-in-chief of like a club, everything instantly was in leadership positions. And that wasn't necessarily me trying to go into a leadership position. It sort of happened naturally to a
Well,
certain
see, that's
extent.
my answer for it too. I'm a leader by default to a certain extent on a lot of things. Even when I used to work on Wall Street, do different things, run the house, have kids. I find that my impatience, as we went over, and my need to get things done and get things organized or do whatever puts me out there, because I find that if you just go and do it, it's easier than procrastinating and
And
waiting
then
for
once you start
somebody
doing
else.
that, then people kind of see
Yes, and they
what you're
kinda follow
doing, and they
behind you.
just sort of like, oh, we're going to take direction from someone who's
Right.
getting the work done, and that's
Right.
just
So
kind of what ends
some
up
of those
happening.
traits that we just talked about kind of push you towards leader.
Yeah, so I definitely would say I am a leader, but at the heart, I wish I was a follower, because sometimes I don't want to make the decision. I just
Yes.
want to follow along aimlessly
That's
and
what
not
I
think
say
about
sometimes.
it.
Somebody asks me a question, like especially my husband, and he'll say, "Well, what do you want? Could you please just make the decision for once? I
know.
just don't want to be the one making all the decisions."
All right, the next one's kind of funny. Are you more book smart or street smart?
Oh, well, we know the answer for me. I'm street smart.
Yeah, I say I'm definitely both, but I've always excelled greatly at school. Like I've always was a straight A
Yes.
type student.
I was good at
but-
school when I had to be, because I had to be, and my personality made me be. But I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm more street smart than
and
I
now
am.
I've lived in a city for 9 years. So I mean, like you do become street smart living
to
in
a
the
certain
cities. Are you more selfless or self-focused?
Well, that's kind of a question that you'd have to ask somebody else. I don't think you're self-focused. I think you're more self, because you do a lot of things for a lot of people, and you kind of, go along with a lot of things that, you feel you need to do, because you, like you said, you don't want to rock the boat, or you want to be nice. I find that I used to be more selfless. I find in older age, you start to realize that you have to become self-focused in certain situations,
Yeah.
and Amanda knows what I'm talking about. You have to be self-focused to a certain extent.
Which I think is a good thing. Like you should always really be putting yourself
Yes.
first, and your health and
Yes,
your
it's
mental
not healthy
health,
to
physical
not
health.
be. You can't be
So-
fully selfless, and you can't be fully self-focused. So if you don't leave that in the middle, then you've got one problem or another.
Yeah. I like how they worded this too. They didn't say selfish, because I think self-focus and selfish are two different things.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it is important to put yourself first, at all times, and make sure you're taking care of yourself. I know at work they say like you have to take care of your shed. Like if your shed is in good quality and good
Right.
health, then you can take care of others afterwards.
Right. That's what I
So-
mean. That's kind of a tough, question to kind
for
of
sure.
pick one or the other.
All right, are you driven more by your morals or goals?
Morals.
Morals. I would say morals too, for the most part.
Yeah.
Overall, I would say in life morals. So.
There are lots of goals I've had that we have not gotten to, because you have to give up certain things to get certain things. And I think I'm more driven by the fact that I like to be a good person than somebody who has everything.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, okay, I'm going to give a spoiler for the Hunger Games right now. So if you don't want to hear a spoiler for the Hunger Games, skip ahead like 1 minute. But yeah, in the Hunger Games, when you learn that Cornelius Snow, who's the president of the Capitol during Katniss's, time, that he like murdered and killed a lot of people in order to get where he was going. That's, I feel like, is a good example of like getting to his goal was being the leader of, their civilization, and then
that's taking it to the
sacrificing all his
extreme, right.
morals. But in that sense, yeah, it's like that was the first thing I thought of. So, but yeah, we definitely not do that. There are limits to reaching your goals, and the limit is murder. So-
Yes, okay. We know what Amanda's limits are.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, like the limit should be before murder, but a limit is murder for sure. So, all right, are you more of a minimalist or a materialist?
Oh, that's kind of hard.
I know I would love to be a minimalist, but I'm really
Yeah,
not.
I'm not a minimalist. I have to say, another thing about age, you start realizing that you want to get rid of stuff before it's too late. But I am not a minimalist by any means of the imagination. I have
for
too much
sure.
stuff, too much stuff I'm attached to. It's too much stuff I don't want to get rid of, so I can't call myself a minimalist.
Yeah, I'm definitely not.
I'm
either.
more towards the materialist. I'm
Yeah,
not
like
so
having
materialistic that I have to have certain things, but the stuff I do have, I really do like.
Yeah, no, same here. And it's like I like having options, Like I was talking to a coworker saying, so I just recently moved, and when I was moving, I have so many dress shoes. But at the same time, it's like, well, I obviously don't wear these dress shoes every year. But then in 5 years, when I'm going to a wedding, well, yes, then
Yes,
I am
you
going
need
to be
that
wearing
dress
that dress
shoe.
shoes. So it's like that's why you keep these dress shoes, and then all different colors and different styles.
Right. So that you don't have to go out looking for them at the last
yeah,
minute.
exactly. So in that sense, it's like, yeah, I want to have options for when I'm getting
I do love
dressed.
my shoes,
so.
my bags, my jackets.
Yeah, definitely bags. I have so many bags. Oh my goodness. Okay. Are you more of a city or country person?
I used to be a city person.
Yeah.
And I do miss it. But I'm not a full country person either, so I think I'm right in the middle at this point. I like either one.
Yeah, I feel like I am also kind of both, because I have lived in a city for 9 years now. However, if someone was like, come to this farm and like raise some cows and chickens, I'd be like, yeah, for sure. I would like leave everything and go to the country. So I also think I'm kind of in the middle. So I'm going to leave it in the middle for now. But if you asked me when I was in high school, I would have always said city, because at the time when I was in high school, I always wanted to live in the city. But now I live in the city and I love the city. Well, never not love the city, but I also love the country too. So are you more of an indoors person or an outdoors person? I think this is interesting too because it kind of depends.
Yeah, that
Depends
has
on the weather, if I'm being honest.
It depends upon the season. It depends upon where you are. It depends upon what you're doing. I don't know what you're asking me. I mean, am I an outdoors person that I'm sporty and out in the wild all the time? No. Am I an indoor person because, I mean, where we live, if I'll be outside but not spend all my time outside. It's kind of like, I think I could be either.
Yeah. No, I feel like in a way I spend more time indoors because of my job and where I live.
Well, that comes from lifestyle.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I definitely spend more time indoors, but I do like being outside.
Right, but personality-wise, I think it all depends upon what you're doing.
I'm going to say more of an indoors person because I do think I'm a bit more of an indoors person, but I mean, like I am a long distance runner and I go running every day outside. So I spend a lot of time outside too doing outdoor activities.
That's what you do to be outdoors, but you have to be indoors for certain things, so I think it kind of balances out.
All right, I think there's only a few more left. It looks like we're getting down to the bottom. Are you more calculated or impulsive?
Yeah, well, that's easy. I'm impulsive.
You're impulsive?
I'm impulsive.
Well, you're a big planner though too, because you plan all our vacations and plan
true.
a lot of things. So that's calculated in a sense that...
Well, when you say calculated, I think differently. Like when I look at this question, it's not asking me how much I plan. It's saying on a certain situation, are you going to be calculated or impulsive?
Yeah.
In most situations, I'm impulsive, even though I do most of the planning, especially for Disney vacations or when we're going out to eat or when we're doing this or when we're doing that. But if I'm in a situation and there's, like you said, like Amanda said, she'll say something and my face or my action will immediately, impulsively answer. And then I stop and say, shouldn't be doing that. So I'm more on the impulsive side for like regular situations.
Yeah. No, same. I'm definitely quite impulsive. All right. And finally, here's the last one. Are you more creative or analytical?
I'm more analytical. I don't find myself to be creative.
Yeah, I wish I was more creative, if I'm being honest. I feel like I'm creative. I was a creative writing major in college, so in that sense, I was creative in that world. So I am going to say more creative over analytical because I don't necessarily think I'm an analytical person, but I wish I was just more creative is all.
Yeah, I wish too, but I'm not. I'm really not creative. I can do certain things like even decorating or doing when you buy a house, when you have an apartment, when you have to buy artwork, you have to, even putting an outfit together or whatever. It's hard work. I don't find it easy. I can do it. I mean, everything turns out nice in the end, but I can't, doesn't come natural.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're both going to hit I'm done in a second.
Ooh, okay.
Wait, did you hit it already?
No.
Okay. All right, I'm going to hit I'm done. Again, this is supposed to be with a 100% accuracy.
Okay,
we
let's
say
see.
in quotations. Usually BuzzFeed quizzes are never
I'm going to be like grumpy.
Well, BuzzFeed quizzes are never usually accurate. That's like one of the jokes of them that they're kind of just supposed to be for fun. Maybe just funny little things. But all right, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
I think I'm done. Oh, who'd you get?
Pumbaa. Gee, that was a letdown.
Okay, wait, read the description.
It says, you're just like Pumbaa from The Lion King. You're incredibly lovable and the best friend a person could ask for. You're a jokester who doesn't take themselves too seriously and is always down for a laugh. Okay, wait, it has more. You've got a big heart and everyone loves you.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
accurate. Well, I hope so. That's nice, but I look at the picture and I'm
is he like farting in the photos?
No, he's just laughing and talking. He's just laughing. It's Pumbaa saying here, Hakuna Matata, it means no worries. Unfortunately, I have lots of worries, so I don't have his.
But I could see certain elements of Pumbaa in you to a certain extent, so I see that. Yeah.
What are you?
All right, I got Elsa.
Oh, see, of course, Amanda gets Elsa. I get Pumbaa.
All right, it says you're just like Elsa from Frozen. You come across as quiet and reserved, but you're a totally different person when people really get to know you. You're funny, creative, and a loyal friend that anyone would be lucky to have.
Well, see, now I have to say, for Amanda, if somebody said that to me, I'd say, "Yep, sounds right."
Yeah, that actually is pretty accurate. Most of my college friends say the same. That my personality changed once they got to know me.
So it is pretty accurate for Amanda. I'm not saying that mine isn't accurate. It just the picture kind of threw me off. It is accurate. I am a very good friend. I feel like I'm a very good friend.
No, you are loyal. So
I try to be loyal. I try to be attentive. I try to do all that stuff. I try to be kind to everybody. That is my motto in life. Is that I go through life trying to be a good, kind person. I may not always come off that way because of my impulsiveness or my impatience or whatever. But that has nothing to do with my personality.
But I'd say too, you're such a fun. Like I always say this, that my mom is such a fun person to be with. Like that's part of like the extrovert in her as well, like being quite social. And that's Pumbaa's character as well, that he's very fun to be with. And that way he is the comedic relief in the movie, but he's just like a fun personality. He doesn't, he's always just bopping around, always there, but also a loyal friend too, still quite intelligent. Like he does put things together. Right. I mean, like he was the one who knew what stars were. You know?
That's funny. Like I said, I just did not expect to see Pumbaa.
Yeah, that's so funny. But that was fun though. That was fun to take a
That
quiz.
was.
Yeah, we'll definitely maybe do another one in the future.
That was really fun. And, it was good to do something funny and not have to do research for it and have to worry about what the details were.
No,
it was
for sure.
very fun. And like you said, there are so many different characters in Disney.
Yeah, and I wonder how many characters they have that like you could possibly be in this.
It'd be interesting to see if we took it again, what would happen the next time.
I know, right?
What you'd come
Or
up
if you
as.
take it, so for instance, when we go on Spaceship Earth in Epcot, we often will do, the little quiz at the end of like, what's your future going to be?
really-
And recently, because we've been on the ride so many times, we do like the opposite of what we would actually want in our real lives, which is always fun because then you get to see different animations. So I
Yes.
feel like it'd be funny to do a quiz and do the complete opposite to see
of
like
what
who
we
is
are.
your anti-personality.
Right, see who we'd be. I don't know. Like I said, I always say, I wake up, you say to yourself every once in a while, okay, I'm going to start changing that. I'm going to start doing something different. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And 5 minutes later, I'm doing exactly what I usually do. So
Yeah. It depends for me because sometimes there's a quote I saw one time on like Twitter or Tumblr or something like that said that you could restart the day at any point during the day. And I always really like that because like in the middle of the day, if you're having a really bad morning, then you just like sit down. It's like, all right, we're going to restart the day right now. Like you don't have to wait until tomorrow. So
Right.
I've done that before and I've done that. Like a lot of people will start new like resolutions in January or something. It's like, no, I'm going to start that right now. So I have done that before. And in that sense, that's where I say like where my impulsiveness comes from. Like one day I just woke up and I was like, I'm going to start running. And I started running and now I've been running for years. And now I'm a long distance runner.
not only did she do that, she
So-
woke up and said, I'm going to start running and I'm going to do the Disney Marathon in 4 months, 5 months, whatever it was?
No, it was a year and a half.
Was it?
what I was
Okay, I
planning,
didn't even know
yeah.
how long it was,
It
but
was
I
May
remember.
2018 when I decided to start running, and I planned to do the January 2020 marathon, and that's exactly what happened.
That's what
That
she did.
A year
She
and a
said,
half. I
"That's what
trained
I'm
up to
gonna
do a
train
marathon."
for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did like all the races in between 5K, 10K, half marathon, all the stuff. So but yeah, so in that way, it's like again, once decisions are made, they're made,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
As you get older, you find that sometimes you make decisions and they have to be changed or they have to be adjusted.
Oh
and
yeah,
there's,
that's where the gotta
more-
be flexible.
Right,
So.
more people that are involved in your life, more things that come up, more responsibilities, whatever. That's why I said my answering of the questions had a difference in it because we're 40 years apart. So
Yeah.
that 40 years makes a big difference in how you decide what kind of person you are and what you are willing to put up with and what you're not willing to put up with.
For sure. Well, like that's like your boundaries. You
Yes.
got to make sure you set healthy boundaries
Yes.
for yourself. So, quite important. But yeah, this was fun. I'm glad we did this. So definitely we'll do another one in the future. Again, I have it linked below. So make sure you take the quiz as well. So because it was quite fun to do.
It was funny.
So, and let us know who you got. Which Disney character are you? So, all right, we'll do a little bit of Disney news now. So this is a pre-recorded episode. So some of this Disney news is a little bit outdated. So I do apologize for that. However, some of the fun stuff is that a lot of Halloween merchandise has been coming to the parks recently. So there's a lot of new mini ears, lounge flies, and hats have been spotted in the parks. Disney has also released the full guide to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party food and beverage items. So there will be lots of new treats and beverages for the event party, which also makes sense because it's August now. So again, the event party will be starting quite soon.
Yeah, earlier and earlier.
Yeah, so all the Halloween stuff has to be there, which is crazy to think that Halloween technically is only 2 months away. So the Hatbox Ghost location has been confirmed. This was a few weeks ago at this point, but Disney says the Hatbox Ghost will appear to guests as they pass the endless hallway, welcoming himself inside from the swinging wake in the cemetery and grinning at the doom buggies as they set off deeper into the mansion. Guests will soon see temporary barriers materialize as we await his apparition. So of course, this is on the Haunted Mansion ride. The Hatbox Ghost is located at the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland in California, but not in Magic Kingdom. So in the Magic Kingdom ride is where we're getting the Hatbox Ghost. All right, Smellephants on Parade has been announced for Magic Kingdom. This will be an interactive experience with a search and sniff adventure in Storybook Circus. It looks very interesting. It's definitely, I think, something for kids, if we're being quite honest. I don't know, something kind of cute though. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
So there is a new pickle milkshake at the Odyssey
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
Epcot. A lot of people are giving it mixed reviews. Some people are loving it, some people are hating it. None of us are really huge, like diehard pickle fans,
No.
so we will not be getting
Yeah,
it.
I don't mind a pickle, but I don't know if I want to be drinking a whole milkshake.
It does look cute though in a way. Like when I see the photos,
I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
drink a milkshake. I want I want the classic flavor.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't think I could have a pickle milkshake. But I also think too, some of those flavors I think lend more towards international audiences where they do have more
true.
different flavors in their
Yes.
food, such as in Asian cuisine, they have different flavors in their food that's more savory and things that we would consider
Right.
to be more sweet. So I think maybe that's speaking more to an
Could be,
international audience.
could be a big seller.
Yeah, but I've heard mixed reviews. Some people are loving it, some people are hating it, but either way, you can get the new pickle milkshake at the Odyssey. Again, a few weeks ago, the Food and Wine Festival has officially started also in Epcot. There's lots of new merch and food booths all throughout Epcot. A few podcast episodes ago, we went over some of the menu items Williams and again the Eat to the Beach series. So definitely check out that podcast.
that.
But also if you just Google it on Disney's website, they will have all the information. There's been quite a few vlogs now of people trying the Food and Wine Festival. It's funny because as we're recording this is actually the week that it has opened, and the crowds are high right now in Epcot for this weekend. And the crowds are always quite high in Epcot for the first weekend of a festival, since a lot of people are going there. They want to try all the new food, especially the locals who know it's like, oh, this is the first weekend to do something different. So by the time this podcast episode comes out, hopefully the crowds have died down a little bit more. So if you go, it won't be too crazy. And last but not least, I think we also mentioned this before, but the Trails End restaurant reopening basically is happening. So they had their soft opening and the hard opening has happened. So yeah, this is at Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. So you can go to Trails End restaurant. They have a whole new menu and it's now a quick service. I think back in the day it used to be a table service, but now it's been converted into a quick service. So yeah, so that's kind of exciting. So yeah, that's all we have this week for some Disney news. So now we'll give some Disney birthdays. So first up, we have Isabella Madrigal on August 7th. So happy birthday to Isabella. Do you remember who she is?
Encanto?
Yep, Encanto, yep. So that is Mirabelle's middle sister,
right.
The middle sister of all of them, the one with the flowers. So that is her birthday on August 7th, which makes sense that she's a Leo, so our Leo queen. So, and we also have Peter Parker. So happy birthday to Peter Parker on August 10th, another Leo. So I'm surprised he's a Leo because I feel like he doesn't give Leo vibes, or at least Tom Holland's version doesn't give Leo vibes. I mean, I don't know. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield also do not give Leo vibes for Peter Parker. But yeah, so happy birthday to Isabella and to Peter Parker. And all right, now that isn't our final segment of the podcast, which is our Disney memory. So do you have a Disney memory for this podcast?
Well, the only Disney memory has nothing to do with this quiz or anything.
Okay.
But last night we had a major storm that we sat out on the back porch where it was pouring rain. The wind was blowing, the rain was falling, the thing was this. And I just remember being in Disney. We were sitting because we had just done, talked about Disney and did a thing. And I was like, oh my God, remember when we used to do that with the ponchos and the things and the stuff and the umbrellas and running to the car and running to the monorail and getting on there. Actually, one of the vacations last year, it wasn't supposed to rain at all. And we were sitting there waiting for the fireworks to start and the heavens opened up. By the time we got on the monorail, we were soaked.
Yeah.
So I just remember running in all that rain with the water up to your ankles practically, and that's what brought back the memory.
For sure, Florida weather is wild down there. So.
And we've had that Florida weather here in New Jersey for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so one of the distinct memories I have about Florida weather, it was in Hollywood Studios, and we were getting off the Great Movie Ride, which is now Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Oh, yes.
And so they open the doors as like more people get off the ride, and everyone was just standing under this little awning, like not wanting to leave because it was absolute just drenched downpour raining. And if you've been to Hollywood Studios, they do have some flash flooding that happens in that park. The flash flooding was happening, my people. Like it was flash flooding. We were all crowded. Every time the doors opened, there was more and more crowded people just staying there huddled underneath this awning, hoping that the rain would die down. It did not die down. We ended up just walking through the rain to get back to the car.
Right.
But yeah, but I'll never forget that, standing under that little awning. And even now when we walk out of that area, because it's still the same exit for the ride that it was for the Great Movie Ride, I look at that little awning and being like, there were so many people shoved on this awning.
Well, because also in Hollywood Studios, especially when you get out in that area, there's no place else to go.
Yeah, there's
just
covering.
Walls.
Yeah.
There's just like walkways with
because
walls.
there you walk up, and then there used to be that stage there, and I think at the time the Sorcerer's Hat was also still there as well. So I guess you could have ran to the Sorcerer's Hat, but it's still quite some distance to get to the Sorcerer's Hat or in that little stage area. Now there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
Now if you come out, there's absolutely it doesn't matter. You might, if you're going to walk,
you'd have to run to Hollywood Boulevard or something like that.
Once you're wet, you're wet.
Far. Yeah, so I'll never forget that distinctly because I do remember that very, very distinctly in the memory of some of that fun Florida weather.
That was just right in the front of my memory because last night the weather that we had here was just like that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It was that hot weather with the rain coming down. It was just amazing.
Yeah, I know. And some of the things I actually do always love, like a good rainstorm. I think it's kind of fun.
It is. That's why we sat out on the porch and watched it.
For someone who doesn't live in Central Florida, I'm sure they're probably exhausted from it, and they like can't go out, can't do anything. So it's like pouring rain for 2 minutes, and then it's gonna stop.
Right. Well, we've also had it. I live by the shore, and unfortunately, when the rain comes through, a lot of times, like I told Amanda, I'll look at the radar, and it just disappears. So it kind of just goes around us. So like you said, every once in a while, you need a good rain to wash everything off. So that was my good memory.
And wash the car off. There's so much bird poop in my car right now.
Yeah, see? Like I said, in Florida, they do get it washed off a little bit at a time. But like I said, last night, that brought back memories of Disney, just running around in the rain.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, well, thanks, Pumbaa. Thanks for listening. You're sitting across from me. Make sure you follow us on all social media. We are currently Spaceship Earth Design on all social platforms. We'll also have it linked in the description below since we maybe rebranding one day. I know I've been saying that for the last 18 episodes that we're going to rebrand one day. The rebrand will happen. I'm not sure when. So one day. Make sure to give us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or YouTube, wherever you're currently listening, since we are available to listen on all podcast platforms. And if you're listening on YouTube, make sure to give a like and a comment below. Who did you get when you took the quiz? I mean, again, the quiz is only a year old, so I'm really curious to see who you got, how would you decide to answer the questions, the way you interpreted it. So yeah, let us know. Are you also Pumbaa and Elsa, or did you get a completely different character? So, but yeah, thanks everyone so much for listening, and yeah, we'll see you all real soon.